Plaintiff Brooke Brown is suing her former friend, Charles Pridmore, for an unpaid loan and interest. Brooke says that the defendant was going through a messy divorce, so she loaned him her tuition money so he could pay his rent. But Charles says the plaintiff is just upset because he refused to be intimate with her. Charles says Brooke made several sexual advances toward him, and he denied her every time.
Brooke Brown is suing Charles Pridmore, her former friend, for an unpaid loan, and she's seeking interest in addition to the loan. Brooke, talk to me.
I met Charles a few years ago. He opened up a tattoo shop in the back of my sister's business.
Is this your sister?
Yeah.
Okay.
Charles was constantly whining and crying and complaining about his marriage. He was going through a divorce. He was in the process of going through a divorce. And the person that he was going to get a place to live with backed out last minute. So I offered him the money as a loan.
What money?
The $4,300 I lent him. So
That's too fast for me. Charles is moaning about his relationship with his wife.
Yes.
Is he getting divorced?
He was getting divorced. He was in the process of getting a divorce.
Process of getting divorced. You met him because he worked in the back of your sister's
yes,
shop.
Yes, we interacted every day. We would see each other regularly.
So how long did you know him?
A few years. The last 3 years I've known him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he comes to you and he says, I need $4,300?
No. He was,
Talk to me.
He was complaining, and just him and his wife were going through a divorce. They had kids. Oh. He wanted to get out.
You have kids, Charles?
Yes.
How old?
7 and 2.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it was a bad living situation. So he had a couple roommates lined up in order to cover the rent and the down payment and stuff. One of them backed out last minute. So they were in need of some money to cover what the other roommate would have paid. So I lent it to him.
Okay, sister, step up here for a minute. What kind of shop do you have?
A hair salon.
Oh, so you have a hair salon and you know Charles, and did you rent out space for him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so what are you here to tell me?
I was just here to back up what she's saying, that she loaned him the money and he was supposed to pay it back within a few months, and she hasn't.
How do you know what the arrangement was?
Because I was there when they were talking all the time about it.
Okay, all right. But did you see the transfer of money?
Yes.
Okay, do you admit that you got $4,300 from the plaintiff?
No.
Okay, sit down, sister. Were the two of you just friends?
Yes, absolutely, yes. Absolutely just friends.
Yes, no, quick.
No.
I didn't think so. Okay, so why are you so shocked? Right off the bat.
That's not true.
Right off the bat, don't you think it's unusual for someone to give someone else $4,300?
Not if it's a loan.
But she's not a bank.
We were friends. We were good friends.
What's good friends?
Good friends. We interacted every day. I knew him, you know.
So what do you do that you have $4,300 that you can give him?
Actually, I'm a full-time student. I work really, really hard for my money. I save it. I work really hard in the summertime. And
if you're a full-time student, don't you have to pay tuition?
Yes,
books?
that's why I need the money back.
No. How does a student have $4,300 cash?
Save all my money.
Just a friend.
I save every penny I make.
Advances.
Okay.
Yes.
Charles,
I trusted him. I
know you trusted him. Okay, go ahead.
I'm not so sure that it's me not wanting to pay back a loan as much as me not wanting to be intimate with Brooke. You know, we'd met a few years back. I had a body art facility in the back of their salon.
What kind of facility?
Body art.
Body art.
Yes, tattooing.
Is that what's all over your arms?
Yes, ma'am.
Does that hurt?
Yes, very much.
Do you have it like on more than just your arms?
Everywhere.
Why?
Well, it's what I do.
You will do it to somebody else and get paid for it.
I do. I was going through a divorce. Brooke had came to me and offered to loan me some money so that I could facilitate a home. You know,
out of the blue, she says, "I want to give you money." Why?
Because I'd moved out of my ex-wife's house, and I was just kind of couch surfing with my friends, and that got old real fast. Mm-hmm. And then she knew about my situation, and she had come and offered to help. And when I moved into this house, I had borrowed $3,800 from her, which she gave to me in cashier's checks.
Okay.
And I'd signed those over just directly into my landlord's name. I didn't sign them myself. I just gave them to him. He signed and cashed them.
Now, you said you borrowed $3,800.
I was in the middle of my divorce. I had full intent on paying her back. Everything was going pretty smooth. Then my roommates bailed on me. Everything financially for me collapsed. My divorce cost me my business. They gave that to my ex-wife. I tried, many times to get some type of payment issue with Brooke, so we could get some relief for the situation. And she just kept denying me, well, just wait till you have all the money. And everything was pretty friendly, up until we would be hanging out, go to the bar or something like that, and she'd just make some type of sexual pass at me. And I was dating somebody else at the time, so I just was like, no, that's not what I want. I'd rather just pay you the money, be done with it.
Okay, so what you're telling me is that you talk to Brooke, you know that she knows you need money.
Yes.
And is it $3,800 or $43,000?
It's 30.
You added interest to it.
Yeah, I added
Okay,
interest.
so the principal that we're talking about is $3,800.
Yes.
$3,800.
Okay, when she gives you the $3,800, what does she say to you?
Gosh, it was a while ago now.
All right, what did you say to her?
I said, thank you very much.
I bet. Yeah.
I needed a place.
I know, I don't care about that. What was the conversation surrounding the handing of the money? Had you gone out with her before she gave you $3,800?
Yeah, we'd gone
you
out.
just moaned about your wife.
We'd gone out many times before. We'd go to the bar, go karaokeing,
Yeah, and after the bar, what happens?
We'd go back to her house and stuff and hang out and sit there watching TV, watching movies.
And that's it?
No, and we would sit there. We were watching movies. And
How come people can't answer a question directly?
Brooke had made several passes at me, in the past, and I was like, I'm not interested.
So are you saying that Brooke gives you money, $3,800, because she's interested in having sex with you?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
And that before she gave, stop it, and before she gave you the $3,800, you had never had sex with her?
No.
I have never, ever been even remotely attracted to Charles. If anything, okay, it's the other way around.
I don't even see why that would be.
You don't even see why that would be what?
No, I'm an attractive man. Women like me.
He has never hung out at my house. He's a liar. He's a cheater. You're a little crazy, but it was a bad living environment for the children. That's why I wanted them separated. I have never, ever made a pass or even been attracted to Charles in any way.
All right. So you give him $3,800, and what do you say when you give it to him?
I said, well, we decided before I gave it to him, before I actually gave it to him, that he would pay me back within a couple months, by the end of summer.
All right. And did you put anything in writing?
No.
Okay, so there's no promissory note?
No.
Even though he worked in the back of your sister's store and you did have some leverage over him to get something from him.
Oh, I tried to arrange a payment plan with him. Mm-hmm. I called him constantly. He never returned my phone calls. Mm-hmm. He moved out of town.
Do you think he should have to pay her this money back?
Yeah, I've tried to several times to set some type of payment thing. It's not as much as she would like in one lump sum.
How have you tried to?
I sent her a single check for $200 and tried to get some type of initiative to get a payment schedule going. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't enough at once for her to...
Did he send you $200?
No. He sent me $100.
I cannot get the check from the bank. That account's been closed since then.
Probably shut down.
No, don't editorialize, Brooke. You see, here's the question. If you said that you were trying to arrange something, some kind of payment plan, you don't need her permission. Just pay her the money. You can't use as an excuse or a defense that you didn't pay her even though you want to pay her because, you couldn't get a payment plan. You're each saying you couldn't get a payment plan from the other one. But when you borrowed the money, did you understand that, let's assume she wanted to have sex with you. Mm-hmm. So you're saying that if she wanted to have sex with you, that money was part of a bribe and that therefore you wouldn't have to pay it back?
I'm sure if I did have intercourse with Mrs. Brown, I wouldn't be getting sued right now.
Mrs. Brown?
Miss. Sorry, I apologize.
I was going to say, somebody jumped in here in the middle. I missed it. Okay, now, the issue is whether or not the defendant is liable to the plaintiff for a $3,800 cash transfer. I'm not ready to call it a loan or a gift yet because I haven't made up my mind. Here's the issue. The issue is if the plaintiff gave the defendant $3,800. And by the way, you add interest of $500.
He agreed. He agreed on that.
Where? Show me.
Well,
he's not even
his word
agreeing that
against
he's
mine,
paying
I
it
guess,
back. How
but-
can you tell me he's
but-
agreeing? Let me explain something to you. When I'm asking a question, you
Okay.
should stop commenting and listen to my question.
Okay.
He hasn't even agreed to pay you back the $3,800. So how do you want me to believe he agreed to pay you back $500, which is usurious in the state of California, where interest is 10%, which would make it $380, not $500. Okay, so be
Okay.
careful of that. It's usury. They could prosecute you for that. Okay? Okay. So the defendant says, look, I got $3,800 because I'm good looking and because she wanted to be with me, and I shouldn't have to pay it back, although I did pay her back a couple $100, and I couldn't really have a payment plan arranged between each other, and therefore I haven't paid her anything, and at the end of the day, I shouldn't have to pay her because, she wanted me as a toy. Here's the deal. There's no question she gave you $3,800. I'm not sure it was a loan, and I'm not sure that it was a gift. But here's the problem. The problem is that if there is a transfer of money without any kind of a relationship, that even if she wanted to have a relationship with you, it is not in her interest to give you this money unless she has the relationship. And let's assume that you're saying she wanted sex and therefore it was a gift. You didn't perform on your part of the contract to give her sex, so therefore it's not a gift. You owe her $3,800, but plus $380 in interest.